Right, it's Thursday the 6th of December 2018 and it's early in the morning because I need to go early today to Southampton Hospital. And I just wanted to show you something because this is the last opportunity that I have to do that. And that's this thing. You may have noticed me with this sleeve on in previous videos. You may not, but this is covering up my Picc line. This is a Picc line. It's Picc, peripherally inserted central catheter, and this is a line that I've had put in here since August, so it's been here about 4 months. It's got 2 lumens, as they call them, and this allows the doctors and nurses to connect up, and they can take blood from this line, or they can inject and infuse into my body whatever drugs they need to infuse. One of the big advantages for me is that it saves all those painful cannulas that they would normally need to stick into a vein through my skin to deliver any drugs, or the little pinprick for every single blood test. Part of the reason for this is chemotherapy makes your veins a little bit thinner, and given the amount of time that they need to use those veins, it's a little bit easier if you've got a permanent entry point. So that's what this is. My kids get a little bit grossed out by this, but I did think it's one of those things about cancer treatment that people would be interested in seeing, and actually I highly recommend them. It's not a painful procedure to have them put in, and saves a lot of needles being stuck in you over the course of a chemotherapy treatment. Now, the reason this is the last time I'll be able to show you this is because I'm having this taken out today after 4 months, but I won't be free of that kind of thing because today is the day that I have a Hickman line inserted, which is the same kind of principle: central catheter, 2 lumens, but in this case it's what I call the industrial strength version, which is one that goes in to my chest, over my collarbone, and down into the one of the main valves into the heart, and that makes sure that the chemo drugs get where they need to, and that will stay in place throughout the stem cell transplant next week and for the next 6 weeks, and then even when I come home I'll still have that for about 3 months after that. I've had one of those things before. It's a fiddly procedure to put in. It's done under an X-ray machine by a radiologist. It takes about 45 minutes, and with a local anaesthetic and some mild sedative. I've had 2 of them before. One was okay. Last time was a bit painful, so I can't say that I'm looking forward to it too much, but I'm hoping that this time won't be as painful as the last time. But in the grand scheme of things, look, it's over in an hour or so, and then we move on to the main event. So that's what I'm off to do today, and I'll see you all later. Bye for now. I thought it might be interesting to show you my Hickman line. Now, I'm going to show you it. If you're a bit squeamish, just switch off. My kids don't like seeing it, but I thought it might be a little bit interesting for some people. So this is it here. You can see that this gets put in under local anaesthetic by a consultant anaesthetist. It's done guided by X-ray. So you go into a operating theatre with an X-ray machine, and the anaesthetist makes 2 incisions, one about here, one there, where you can see the marks where the stitches have come out. This is about 6 weeks old now, and they basically, it's threaded. Let's bypass the bit of how they do it, but it's actually threaded through here and over my collarbone and down into one of the top of one of the valves of my heart. That makes it easier to deliver drugs and easier to get blood out. Now, down here in this bit are 3 of these things called lumens. There's a blue one, a red one, and a white one. I have no idea the significance, or whether there is any significance of the different colours. I think it's just that it helps them remember which one they use last. And that means they can pretty much do anything they want in terms of setting up drips. They don't have to do the cannula and stick a needle in you and have that all that faffing around. Likewise with a blood test, they just connect up to one of these things and out comes the blood. So that's what these things are used for, and it's a little bit of a pain at night because they can dangle all over the place and get trapped under your arm and stuff like that. And obviously when you're in hospital having drugs overnight infused and you're connected up, you obviously have to watch out where you're turning, otherwise you're going to pull on this thing. Now this thing actually has a little cuff on the tube just underneath the skin, which means the skin binds onto the tube, which means that it doesn't come out. You can pull on it and it doesn't come out. I'm not going to do that because I'm worried it might get painful, but that's what that does. And that means that when they take this out, that's a little operation in itself. A doctor comes along and does that again, a little bit of local anaesthetic, and depending how much that skin has bound to the tube, sort of indicates how difficult or easy it is to get out. You also have to take care because this thing is a source of infection, so you have to make sure you keep it clean, and so you're not allowed to have it sort of dangling in the shower. So you have one of these things, a little plastic bag, and you stick the things in there and you fasten it up and then you tape it there, and then you can have a shower. You can't have a bath or anything like that, but you can have a shower and not worry about getting these things wet, and because water carries bacteria and you can get infections in your line, which is very difficult to get out, but also it's a bit of a pain because it means you have to have antibiotics and it can be life-threatening and all that kind of malarkey. Other thing is, obviously, because this is a source of infection, they need to keep it clean. So once a week I have to go to the hospital, and they change the bungs on these blue things on the end, all very sterile. They sort of clean them with antibacterial wipes, and they change those. They flush saline through, and change this dressing here. And this little circle thing there is actually impregnated with chlorhexidine, which is an antiseptic, so that you don't get a sort of infection around there. So it's all, it kind of adds to the process. It means that I am never going to forget that I am going through some cancer treatment. Like I say, I've had this in about 6 weeks now. It's about, what is it today, 19th of January 2019. I did the last bit of the video back when I had the Picc line out and I had this put in, but I've waited a while because it does look a little bit messy when you've got stitches in here. That one gets taken out after a week. That one is about 4 weeks, but you can still see it's a bit red. Doesn't hurt. Like I say, it's just a little bit inconvenient. But anyway, I thought you'd like to see that, or some people would be fascinated by it. And I'm about just over a week away from finally going in to hospital for the stem cell transplant, and I'll hopefully do more videos and more blogging when I get into the hospital. But until then, I'll see you soon. Bye.